Hey, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining. This is the Etched Skull, y'all, and I think you're gonna like this one. We did a frame the other night while I was still out of town, but difference here is that I have the color of the month. This is superstitious, so let me show you how pretty it is. Look how gorgeous that is. Okay, we're gonna use this tonight with the Etched Skull. I think you're gonna like it. I think I'm gonna like it. I'm excited about it. So let me see if I can get my life together. Okay, so we're gonna start by painting our chockable shape. I'm just using black acrylic paint. Sorry, I couldn't think how to get my brain working here. Okay, sorry I'm running a little bit late tonight. Keyword is skull. Let me put that here in the comments. Oh gosh, I'm all kinds of messed up. Oh God. Okay, keyword is skull. Hi Stephanie, hey Lisa, hi Joni and Sandra, hi Shirley, welcome, hi Bobby. How are you ladies? So if you haven't gotten your color of the month order in yet, highly recommend that you do that. Okay, whether you're a designer or a customer, it does not matter. You can place your order. $75 for retail cost, okay? And you will qualify to be able to put that in your cart. And if you are a designer and you spent $100 last month, then you are qualified for designer preview. So you can go in and you can place your order for all the new stuff. And if you're not a designer and you would like to go ahead and get your order in of the new items, you're welcome to send me a message with your list and you can pre-order it with me. Okay, I'll order it. Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. Okay, so I've got this painted. I do want to go back and get the sides of this, okay, because the edges are white. I'm going to let that dry. And then we may do another coat. We'll see. I don't want it to be splotchy. I want it to be really, really nice and black. That skull. Okay, so then we also have another one of these vintage frames. Y'all, I love that vintage frame that we did with the little ghost the other night. Hi, Sue. How are you, love? Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Y'all, I'm so sorry that I have been MIA. And I do apologize for that. I have been just on a wild ride over here. Okay, I've been traveling so much, exhausted, does not even cover it. Okay, I got in, my flight home on Thursday night was delayed because of weather. We loaded up on the plane and then it started storming so bad before we ever even left the gate. Where it was like lightning and thundering and it sounded like fake. You know what I mean? Like whenever you're in a movie and it's lightning and thundering and the surround sound is like really good and it sounds like a real storm, but that's what it sounded like, was like I was in a movie theater and it was lightning and crashing all around us. And we hadn't taken off. We hadn't even left the gate yet. And so the pilot comes on and he's like, hey, so we're just going to sit here for a minute. It's probably going to be 20 minutes before this blows over. We're just going to stay put. And then he's like, we'll probably open up the door, because they had already even closed the door. Probably even open up the door and let y'all just roam onto the jetway and not go back into the gate area if you want to stretch your legs and wait. And so they didn't end up doing that. They ended up telling us another minute later, like, oh, because the storm got worse real quick. They came back on and he was like, all right, so obviously the situation is a little different. Now they're saying that it's going to be possibly an hour. So we're going to go ahead and deplane. Okay? So they tell us that. There's my background for my frame. I'm going to just set that to the side. I've got my front of my frame here, excuse me. And hi, Milta. How are you, love? What's going on? I haven't seen you in a long time. Happy birthday, my friend. I hope you had a good one. All right, now I'm going to try and not make a huge mess while I paint this. It would probably be better for me to use a sponge, but I've already got this paintbrush dirty with black paint, so I'm going for it. Anywho, so then he comes on and he tells us it's going to be an hour, possibly, that they don't really know, obviously, because the weatherman lies constantly, right? Hi, Rainy! And so he's like, we're going to go ahead and deplane. So we get off the plane, and y'all, I was freezing, okay? Because I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I did not, I did a lot of things, okay? We went on vacation last week to Alabama. So me and Chris and his mom drove to Alabama. And so I didn't park my car at the airport, which was the first thing that was a mess up during this trip. But second thing, I had to pack multiple bags, okay? So I didn't bring any shorts except the shorts that I wore there, okay? Big mistake, going to the beach and only having one actual pair of shorts that I could wear out into public. Now I had like some house shorts, stuff like that. I have these little biker shorts that I love to wear around the house. I actually do wear them out in public occasionally, but I was not going to go like out to nice dinners in these shorts that I have, okay? And so I had one pair of shorts. I also brought my sweatshirt that I always carry on the plane with me, where I always bring a sweatshirt. It's not always that specific one, but anyway, I had my sweatshirt. But I made the mistake on the way to Alabama of pulling it out of my backpack and not returning it to my backpack, which is all of my stuff that I travel with. My whole routine was screwed, okay? So whenever I took off the jacket or the sweatshirt, whenever we got to Alabama, I just threw it in the back of the car. And I'm like, I'll get it later. It'll be fine. Well, of course, we loaded up the car and my sweatshirt was under everything, okay? And I freeze. I always have to have a blanket or a jacket or something, okay? I freeze my butt off all the time, everywhere I go. Always cold. Like, whenever I used to work in the office, I kept a blanket, throw blanket in my desk, okay? That's how cold I would get. I would wear a sweatshirt and wear a blanket at my desk. Anywho, so I'm freezing on the plane. So I'm like, thank God I can go to the restroom and I can go buy me a little sweatshirt. Okay. And originally, whenever I had first started walking over there, I knew that I wanted to buy a sweatshirt at the airport because I was going to be cold. I'm always cold on the plane. And especially if I don't have a jacket, I'm even colder on a plane. Okay. Like, that just makes me colder knowing that I have no protection whatsoever. And so I'm like, cool, I don't care. I had already looked and I couldn't find one that wasn't cheap. And I was like, I'll just freeze to death. But I can't do that, okay? At this point, I had been so cold on the plane that I'm like, this is my redemption. I can go buy one. I don't care how much it is. Luckily, I found one that was on sale for like 20 bucks and I scored it and it wasn't that cute, but I don't even care. Anywho, so then I go to the restroom and I buy a sweatshirt and it's been about 20 minutes. I get back to the gate and they are loading that plane back up, y'all. Hi, Mom. They're loading the plane and I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're going. And so we're getting back on the plane. I have never in my life seen a plane get boarded and buckled in and in the air so fast in my entire life. I promise you. From the moment they started boarding to getting all the way in the plane, it was probably 10 to 15 minutes max, okay, by the time we were in the air. These people were on it, like, let's go, let's move. We know where we're sitting. We know where we're putting our bags. We know everything we're doing. Let's get it done. And that's how boarding a plane should be, okay? Not just we have nowhere to be, nothing to do. No, these people were on it and it was amazing. So then we land in Houston, everything's cool. And I'm like, I don't have a car at the airport. Normally I park at the airport and I just hitch a ride on the shuttle over to my car. Okay, so there's my frame. Hi, Marcia. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so normally I just get on the shuttle and I go to my car. Well, I didn't have a car. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get a cab, which was the plan. Well, originally the plan was for Chris to come get me, but our plane got delayed and I didn't want him to have to come out. He has to get up super early in the morning. And so I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll just get a cab. It's fine. I've already decided I'm not taking Ubers anymore because I felt uncomfortable in the last Uber that I took and by myself, and I'm not doing that, okay? So anywho, I go down to the cab stand, which is fine. You know, there's about 1 million cabs in line, and I tell the lady I need a cab. She asks me where I'm going. I tell her, going to Conroe. Okay, cool. She takes me up to the front of the line. This man, a cab driver, is like, I'm next. I'm like, okay, cool. She tells him, are you okay taking her to Conroe? And he's like, yeah, we get in the car. Cool. Everything's good, right? So we're in the car. It's 50 miles, okay, to the airport from my house. Just so we're clear, okay? We get in the car. He's like, don't worry about the address until we get up on 45 or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then after we get on 45, I put the address in his phone. And he's like, oh my God, why do you live so far away? And I'm like, I don't know, because I do. Like, I don't know what you want from me, guy. But I'm paying you for this, okay? It's not like you're my friend and you came and picked me up from the airport and you're taking me somewhere. No, we are not friends. And this is not a favor that you're doing for me. I am paying you for a service. And you knew very good and well where we were going because I told the lady that I live in Conroe. So I don't know why you're acting like you're surprised, okay? Then we're on the highway. And his gas light comes on, which is a real fun time whenever you're in a cab and you're going over 50 miles, okay? Because it was a Toyota, and as I know, because I own a Toyota, when that gas light comes on, you have 19 miles until you're on empty. I'm like, cool, this is good. I love it. I'm excited about this, okay? So I did turn this, one of these easels over, and I painted both sides because last time I found that one of them has to be painted on both sides, or one of them has to be painted on the opposite side, and I didn't do that already, so that's what I just did. And I did a little bit of touch up. Now I'm going to do one more layer on my skull to make sure it's really good coverage of black, okay? And then I also want to do the edges, and I should have done that already. Let's do that real quick before we get this whole thing painted. Get the edges done so there's no white edges. Okay, so then we're in the car. His gas light comes on. I'm like, awesome. That's cool. I love it. I'm really excited to be trapped in this car on the side of the freeway with this random dude that I've never met before. That's not my friend that we've already discussed. We are not friends. I didn't tell him that. Okay, I was just thinking, we are not friends. You're not doing me a favor by taking me home. I'm literally paying you. Anywho. So I'm texting Chris the whole time, and I do share my location with him because I am not trying to be in some situation, okay? And Chris is like, well, I'll come get you if y'all run out of gas. I'm like, cool, but that sucks, okay? Not really interested in that happening. So anywho, driving down the road, finally we pull off onto the exit to get to my area, okay? We still haven't run out of gas yet. And he's like, hey, I got to pull over and get gas. I'm like, awesome. Here's a gas station right here. Let's do that. We get gas and we keep heading to my area. And this fool, y'all, asks me, he said, do you live on a ranch? I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, I am kind of out in the sticks in the country, but no, I do not live on a ranch. He said, wow, this area is rich. You must live in a $500,000 house. And I'm like, I don't know. I tell him, I don't know what we paid for our house because I'm not going to tell you one way or the other how many dollars I gave for my house, okay? I'm very, very freaked out right now. Okay, at this point in the conversation, I'm like, this is not cool. And he's like asking me what company I work for, how much money I make, if I work for the government, all kinds of stuff, okay? And I'm just real wigged out by it. The whole entire conversation has me just like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like any of this. Okay, so, oops. I got all of this painted now. So there's my skull. We're going to dry this. And we also need to dry the background part. And also this front part, I think is pretty well dried. Okay, so let's try this first, and then we'll pull it off of here, and we will start working on all of this, and y'all are going to love this coming together. So anyway, yeah, that was my trip home. So I'm texting Chris, and I'm like, I'm almost there. Bring your butt outside, okay? You're going to be standing in the driveway whenever I get there, and you're going to save me from this fool, because I am wigged out, okay? It's not cool. I don't like it. I'm very uncomfortable. All of this conversation has me, like, real scared. So now that random dude knows where I live, and he thinks that I'm going to have a $500,000 house, which is also fun. And whenever we pull up into my driveway, he's like, oh my God, about my house. And I'm like, that's good. I like that. So yeah, that was my thing. And I told Chris too, I will never take a cab home again. Not ever. You can't make me. Someone will be picking me up at the airport. I don't care who it is. I don't care what I have to pay to do that. But I will never take a cab or an Uber by myself ever again. Not in my whole life. Someone will come get me. So I should have just like called my mom, or I should have just told him like, come get me. But I wasn't really sure what time we were going to get in. And I knew it was going to be late. I didn't want him to be up all night coming to the airport and stuff, because he does get up super early. And, you know, I just felt bad about that. But not that bad. So, yeah, you can't make me. That's for sure. Someone will be coming to get me. I promise you. I mean, anyone that I know personally, not just some random stranger that is going to make me feel uncomfortable like that, because y'all, men don't get it. And I've had this conversation. Hi Alma, how are you? I've had this conversation with women, obviously, before, but we were talking about this on one of my meetings the other day. One of the girls brought up how dangerous it is for women out in the world, like. And men just, they don't always understand it, because they don't go through things that make them afraid like that. Because, you know, inherently, guys are strong. They're not going to be spoken to that way by people. Random men are not going to scare them or freak them out in any way. And, you know, I was just telling that girl whenever she was talking about it, because she said, like, some similar things happened to her. And, you know, I told her about the Uber experience that I had, where the guy was, like, asking me how much I paid for the Uber and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you know, you do work for Uber right now. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's on you. I didn't say that, but it's like, that's on you, guy. That's not my problem that they're not paying you as much as I'm paying them. Like, that's the whole point. They're a business, you know. They're running a business here. And that's just what it is. So, anywho, yeah, it's terrifying out there. So just keep your eyes open, head on a swivel. You know, don't get in a weird cab with a weird guy by yourself. Okay, so I'm waxing this. We are going to, so let me show you this transfer that goes with that skull. Okay, so there's this, like, I don't know what this is. It's some kind of cursive print. Who knows what it says? I have new in tow of frog. It's like a witch's brew. Okay, we're going to put that on the back of this. So I'm just waxing it lightly, okay? I'm trying not to use too much wax, but I'm hoping I'm not using too much. And I'm kind of buffing it out as I go. Okay, you don't want to use a lot of wax. So anyway, y'all, just please stay safe out there. Teach your daughters, you know, don't let any man scare you in that way, you know? And if you ever feel like you're in danger, share your location with someone that you trust. Tell people what's going on in your life. Let people know where you are. And yeah, try not to get in the car with random people. Okay. And even Chris was like, the cab ride was kind of expensive. Okay. Now, it was a company trip. And even if it wasn't, I would have paid for it, because, like, obviously I didn't have a choice. But when I told Chris how much the cab ride was, he was like, oh my gosh, that was expensive. And I'm like, well, it's 50 miles, okay? And it was nighttime, like, kind of late. It was probably after what they would consider normal business hours. And so, by the way, I cut this already. I went ahead and just cut along the lines like that so that I didn't cut the backer sheet. Okay, we're gonna fuzz this. And he was like, well, it would have been cheaper for an Uber. And I'm like, okay, but I've already said I would rather get into a licensed cab than ride with a random stranger that I mean, anybody, you can set up an Uber account and you don't actually, that person doesn't actually have to be the one driving, okay? And that freaks me out. And there's been so many different, like, by the way, look at my new nails. I just redid them yesterday. They are red aspen. I have a party going right now for red aspen. One of my friends did a party on my birthday for me. So I have a party link if y'all are into it. I can share that link with you. Anyways, yeah, so he was like, well, you know, that's really expensive for that, and you could have been cheaper with an Uber. And I'm like, okay, but that does not feel more safe to me at all. Not at all. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I think I want to go, okay, yeah. Because this skull is going to be in the middle. Okay, so not the whole thing is going, the whole background's not going to be showing. So I'm just going to do this twice back here. I've got a piece of something here. But yeah, I don't think Uber is, I mean, I think it's a great concept, but I don't think it's better than cabs, just because it's a random person in the world. And hi Tina. I was trying to say Tina and Hilton at the same time, so sorry about that. Anyway, we're gonna use bright white on this part. Okay, this is a brand new jar basically, and I have my little small squeegee or mini squeegee, and I'm just going to try and use very little because I want to reuse this over on the other side here in a minute. So I'm going to try and not clog this transfer up with a bunch of paste. Plus it's one of those silky smooth ones. Not all of them are that way, okay? And the ones that are, I really like because they're easy to clean and you waste zero paste on them because you don't leave a lot of paste behind. Plus, it's a lot easier to use them more than once. Anyway, so yeah, I personally don't think that Uber's better than just a regular old school cab. I don't know if it's cheaper or not. I've never really compared it. Don't care either. Because at least the licensed cab is like, has to be regulated, I think. I don't know. And I would assume that to sit in that cab line, you have to be a legit cab service, you know. I don't know what they do to check that. Maybe one of you has worked at an airport and knows better than I do. Who knows? But I was feeling unsafe the other night. Okay, so look at this writing, okay? And then we're going to come over and we're going to fill in this other side here in just a minute once this dries. Well, let's go ahead and do that now. All right, yeah, so it says like bubble, or double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble, fillet of a funny snake, in the cauldron, boil and bake, eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble, cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. So that's a spell. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and see if I can't just I'm seeing where I can start this to trying to repeat it, but I don't really. There. See if we can do it like this. Okay, now trying to press this down really good, but I need to be careful. I don't want to go over the words that I already have down. Now, some of it will be covered up, so it's not that big of a deal, but I don't want it to look like not good, if that makes sense. Okay. Now, in the center, I'm not that concerned, but I don't know exactly where this skull is going to cover, so I would like it to look as good as possible, you know? Okay. All right, now it doesn't have to be perfect, of course. Let me move this so I can put this over here. But, I mean, looking as good as possible is always a plus, right? Okay, so there's my backer. Now, we can always take a, just get a sanding block and just kind of sand it down a little bit and fix any imperfections. Okay, so here's my skull. I definitely want to wax this. Okay, we're gonna do some fun stuff here, so hang out and check it out, what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go over this with white first. I don't think I already waxed this, but who knows, I might have. I don't remember. I don't think I did. Now, we're gonna use that same white for the skull. Uh-oh, I didn't cut the middle. So let me just show you how I cut these. So there's a line along the center, okay? And I'm gonna just take my scissors, and while it's still in the backer sheet, I'm gonna take it and just get in that little line and just cut it like you do wrapping paper. The good wrapping paper that you can actually slide your... Hi, Michelle. So we are using the edge skull cutout, okay? And I also have a frame, a vintage frame. This is the frame part. So I took the backer part of it and I used the like witch's brew spell that's on this edge skull transfer and put that on the backer. And then we've got the chalkable chip here, and I painted all of this black, obviously, that you can see. So I'm gonna line this up on here. And I'm gonna get my light out just because make it just a little easier for me to see. Makes it easier for me. Even though these transfers are pretty much see-through, anything I can do to simplify my life will be better. Okay, so, you know, I'm tempted to, I saw this the other day. Another designer had done something similar on this skull, okay? And I saw it and I was like, ooh, I need to do that. But she went down with white first, and I'm really considering not doing that. But trying to make it to where I can, yeah, that'll work. Okay. Oops, shoot. Okay, put it down, and I'm kind of moving it over as far as I can to the left because I want to do a shadowing effect. Okay, we're going to use the new color of the month. If you haven't gotten it yet, all you have to do is go on my website, spend $75 on product, and you will be eligible then to add Superstitious, which is this purple color. I'll show it to you one more time in a minute, to your cart, okay? And we're going to use it on the skull tonight. Uh-oh. Had a bubble there. Hopefully that's not a problem. Make sure you press your transfer down really well, okay, guys? Ladies, friends. All right. All right. Now, I'm also scraping up as much as this as much of the white as I can. I really don't want to have to clean this transfer. Yeah, so I may have painted the wrong side of the skull because there is sometimes a right and wrong side. But this one went on just fine. Okay, so there's my white. Now I do want to dry this really, really well. Okay, and then we're going to wax it because I did put down paste and I don't want to pull this paste up, okay? So we're going to get it entirely dry. We're going to wax one more time, and then we're going to take our transfer, we're going to stick it down again, and we're going to layer it with this color of the month, okay? And we have a few other little things to do, and we'll put this whole thing together, and I think you guys are going to love it. I know I'm going to. I'm excited about it. So yeah, I've been traveling a lot. I'm going to Atlanta on Monday morning early, and I'll be gone through Wednesday night. So I do plan on doing lives on Monday and Tuesday from my hotel, and I'm probably gonna come on tomorrow and do a live too in the morning, or maybe, yeah, probably in the morning tomorrow, because I missed yesterday and because I've been traveling so much. I feel horrible. And you know, I have a lot of projects planned. Okay, so now I did not clean this transfer. I highly recommend that you clean it in between, okay? But I'm lazy and I'm in my craft room, so it's a little more difficult. Now I'm going to set it down on top of the design. I'm going to line it right up with the design, and then I'm going to scoot it just over just a little bit to where we're lined up with the right side of the skull. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. But yeah, I do recommend that you clean your transfer in between, okay? But I didn't do it, so don't be like me. Clean your stuff. Okay, I will clean it after, but it will help you. And it'll help to line it up a little easier. Okay, so as you can see, you can see a little bit of black, okay, and that's where this Superstitious paste is going to come in. because all those little spots, now we're going to have purple, okay? But we'll still be able to see a little bit of the white on the back, underneath, and it's going to look cool, I think. So this is Superstitious. Only way to get it is by spending $75 on my website. And you do have to go directly there and place an order for at least $75, and then you can add it to your cart, okay? So do that if you love this color as much as I do, okay? And I don't know how long it's going to last. I have no idea what the status is on the inventory, how much is left, or anything, okay? So don't miss out on it. I bet it's going to go fast. It's a great Halloween color. I mean, it's a great anytime color. I love anything even remotely purple. If it's even slightly purple, I'm into it. Okay, so I'm shocked that it has lasted, what day is it? It's the 9th. 9 days already it's been available. So if you love it, grab it. All right. Now, I'm going to pull this up. Y'all, this looks so cool. I like it. It reminds me of the 90s. I love it. So, look at that. That's my skull. I'm digging it a lot. I like it. Let me get this dried and start putting some stuff away. Yeah, purple's my favorite. Anything purple, I am down for it all the time. Yeah, I really would love to see Regal come back. And I do know, I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but with this launch at Halloween, the Halloween launch, they did bring back Regal in the palette pack. Okay, I don't know if y'all saw that. This is our frame. What I want to do is, I've got Rub and Buff, of course. This is the Antique Gold. Okay, now this stuff is it's like an oil-based paint, okay? I'm going to just take one of my little cheapo Dollar Tree sponges, and we're going to add Rub and Buff. Now, I'm not going to make this perfect. I don't know that I want it to be full coverage. I want a little too much there, but this is going to be like, it's a vintage frame, right? So I need to, I'm looking to see if I have another one. Yeah, I do. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, that's falling apart, so that one's trash. But luckily, I buy these every time I go to Dollar Tree, so I have more. Now, just add that all over, like so. Now, you can comment the word skull to get all the stuff to make this. Get the link to go and get the supplies on sale. Not only the chalk stuff, but the cutouts too that I used. This frame. The skull cutout is actually a chalk cutout. Okay, which is awesome that they're doing that now. But I think it's perfect with this frame. It's going to be great. And this Rub and Buff is working out great too. This is exactly what I had in mind for it. So I'm just like letting it kind of run out on my sponge or brush or whatever, and not letting it be full coverage all over the whole thing. Okay, so I think that looks pretty excellent. This stuff dries really quick too, which is great. Doesn't take a long time. It does have a very strong odor, so make sure that you use it in a well-ventilated area. Do not use it in some little closet or something like that, where you're going to be puffing the fumes, okay? It will probably make you sick. Okay, so let's make sure we are all good and dried on our little skull. I think we probably are, but I just want to be sure. And this part as well. Now I'm tempted to even add a little bit of silver, or even, you know, hold on. So on this part, I want to kind of bring in just a little bit of this gold color to the whole thing, okay? Because I feel like the frame is very gold and then the background is a lot of white. So just kind of spread that over and just bring in a little hint of the gold on there too, okay? Just so that it kind of blends a little bit and it doesn't look so I like this a lot. Now I do not have my door closed. It's actually kind of warm in here. I did have the fan on, but I'm wearing shorts and I get cold. So I'm like not sure right now whether I'm cold or hot, which is very annoying. Just choose one already, right? Okay, so that's, we're just gonna put a little bit of glue. I say a little bit, a lot of it of glue right on the back of our skull. Get that bad boy glued down. Now I'm real tempted to add just a little bit of that on here too, but I might do that here in a second. Okay, so now we need to glue our frame on. So we're gonna use, I'm gonna use some E6000. So early, on that other little ghost one that I did, I broke the frame. I didn't break it, but the glue didn't stick through the airport. So I had it in my bag and that glue didn't hold. So I'm gonna use just a little bit of E6000 on this. I'm not gonna use a ton with hot glue. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, well, you know, I'm usually cold, but whenever I get moving around, I'm hot, which is annoying because like I'm sweating 1 minute and freezing the next, which I think that's menopause, right? I don't know, but not looking forward to that time in my life for sure. Okay, not at all. I would rather definitely be cold though than hot, because at least I can put clothes on. Cannot take my skin off when I'm so hot. This is so cool. Look how cool that is. Now I kind of want to add, and I hope I don't destroy this by doing this, but just give that little bit of gold on the black so that it just kind of pulls that together, okay? And we also have a set of easels, okay? So whenever you use these, they just fit together like that, but now you see why I wanted to paint both sides of that one. I should have painted both sides of both of them, but whatever, it's not a big deal, I guess. And then you have an easel that this thing will sit in, okay? And then you can put it on a shelf for Halloween. What do y'all think? So make sure that you comment skull to get the stuff to make this, okay? I don't know how long Halloween stuff's going to be available, so you need to grab it if you're wanting it. Grab it soon so that you don't miss out, okay? All right, y'all. Love you so, so much, and I mean that, okay? I'm going to try and come on tomorrow. I've got a cute project I want to show you. And then I will be seeing you on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Wednesday, I likely will not because I have a late flight. And it'll be too late by the time I get home to do my live. But definitely we'll be seeing you guys soon, okay? Love you all. Talk to you soon. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm here for you. See ya. Love you too, Sue.